And we're back.
Hello, everybody.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Kevin.
And we're the Horror Guys.
The Horror Guys.
What do we got this week?
We got... What do we have? I forgot
Movies.
Already. Yes. You put me on the spot. I wasn't ready. We have Son of Frankenstein. And we have The Open House. And Altered. And A Tale of Two Cities.
Yeah.
Sisters. Tale of Two
No
Sisters.
cities. No cities. Sisters.
I keep making that mistake. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a lot of movie talk.
Plus a short Frankenstein.
Like midget Frankensteins?
Yeah, very small
That'd be
Frankenstein.
fun.
Yeah. Lots
Short
and lots of them.
Frankensteins. How about a Frankenstein short?
Yeah, that'd work. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get ready. Lean in, because here we go.
We go. What do we watch first? I know. We watched Son of Frankenstein, who is the son of the doctor, not the son of the monster, because the monster is just the monster. He is not Frankenstein. Not technically.
Not technically.
The village is also named Frankenstein because they're like royalty.
Well, the Baron.
Yeah.
Baron
town-
is like
town
the
is all
town
about
mayor,
them.
essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, Son of Frankenstein, 1939. Directed by Rowland V. Lee. Written by Willis Cooper. And, of course, it's inspired by a Mary Shelley story.
Oh, loosely inspired.
Very, very.
Yeah.
Stars Boris Karloff, Basil Rathbone, and Bela Lugosi.
Mm-hmm.
And three big names there.
Ygor. Aren't you afraid of Ygor?
Everybody else is.
Everybody is.
Villagers walk past Castle Frankenstein, but they're afraid of crazy old Ygor with a broken neck. The old Baron has recently died, and the son is coming to take over. There's a new Baron in town.
Mm-hmm.
The villagers, though, suspect this guy is going to be just as bad as the last one. They might be right.
And it's funny how they cordially welcome him, but they don't like him. They make sure that, you're welcome to town because, you're the Duke or Baron.
There's 100 people out in the pouring rain waiting for him to arrive, and then when they get there, they won't clap or smile or anything.
No, they hate him in advance, yeah.
Baron...
And he's like, I'm not my father. I want to be your friend, and I want to be good for the village. And as he's talking, they all start moving away. Totally.
We've heard this crap before.
Yeah.
Baron Wolf Frankenstein and his wife Elsa and child Peter arrive on the train. They're really looking forward to staying in a creepy old medieval castle. They say it's haunted because of the things his father created. Wolf says his father was right all along and blamed the stupid assistant for making the mistake that caused all the trouble. We've seen the movie. He's got a point.
Yeah.
And the crowd waiting at the train station is not friendly. They arrive at the castle, now fully stocked with servants. Wolf feels that he belongs there right away, but his wife Elsa, not so much. None of the locals would be willing to work there, so they had to hire foreigners to be servants.
Except one butler, who apparently has been there since she was a kid.
Yeah.
He knew the butler.
They brought the servants with them because they couldn't get locals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hire a local? Nope. Get the immigrant workers.
Yeah.
Wolf opens a box left to him from his father, and inside are all the records of his experiments. Everything he needs to repeat the experiment. Inspector Clow arrives with his wooden arm. He wants to tell the Baron that he may be in danger from the locals. The inspector says that he's not completely certain that the monster was really killed. Wolf thinks that the stories about the monster are greatly exaggerated.
Mm-hmm.
And then Clow tells a story about how the monster tore his arm off by the roots.
Yeah, so he has some experience with the monster when he was a kid.
Yeah.
That's why he's got one arm.
Get your arm torn off, you tend to hold a grudge.
And if I hadn't lost my arm, I would have been a general.
Yeah.
He says. He says longingly.
And he also
he's
tells...
only the chief of police in this little town.
Yeah. He also tells of a half-dozen recent murders in the village, and the villagers blame a ghost. Mm-hmm. Still, Clow pledges his support if Frankenstein needs it. Meanwhile, Ygor opens a secret panel and looks at little Peter while he sleeps. Little Peter's like 8 or something.
Kind of why?
To show us that there's a secret door there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Not for any particular reason, just to establish the secret door.
Yeah, secret tunnels and all that.
The next morning, Wolf goes over to the ruins of his father's lab, which blew up at the end of Bride of Frankenstein.
Right.
Yeah. He notices a boiling sulfur pit, which he carefully avoids. Ygor nearly kills him by accidentally knocking a boulder off the roof.
I don't think it was an accident.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Frankenstein threatens to call Crow, and Ygor explains how Crow and the others broke his neck by hanging him.
But he didn't die.
Ygor stole dead bodies for Dr. Frankenstein, so they convicted him of grave robbing.
And they hung him and just threw him in the ruins.
The sentence is hanged until dead. The doctor pronounced him dead, so they threw him in the ruins, and he wasn't really as dead as they thought he was.
He's all crooked-necked. Not quite hunchback.
He's not a hunchback.
But he's
bent over.
And he's got a lump on the side of his neck and that he thumps on. It's like
it sounds like somebody knocked him on a piece of metal.
Yeah, where it healed the bones. And yeah.
Ygor shows Wolf a secret door that leads to the crypts. He sees his father's and grandfather's tombs.
And
the monster is there as well.
The monster?
He's
not
sick
dead.
and in a deep sleep. He was out hunting one night and was struck by lightning, and he's been in a coma since. Ygor suggests that Henry Frankenstein created both the monster and Wolf, so he and the monster are essentially brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's an ugly brother.
Yeah.
Ygor wants his friend fixed. Ygor has this strange infatuation with the monster.
Yeah, he does.
It's his only friend.
Yeah. What can you do?
Wolf starts rebuilding the lab. They secretly move the monster in, and Wolf gets to work examining him. The townspeople want Ygor questioned. Ygor describes the boxes the doctor has received.
Mm-hmm.
They're big machines, but he hasn't really done anything wrong.
No, not a thing. No.
Well, he hasn't too much yet.
Well, he's getting ready to, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The townsmen threaten to hang him again if he doesn't keep an eye on Frankenstein. There are 2 townsmen left who are involved with Ygor's hanging, and the other 6 are dead.
Coincidence?
I think not. Frankenstein finally has it all figured out, and they turn on the generators. They hook up the jumper cables and start cooking. The monster doesn't wake up, and Wolf declares it a failure.
Yeah. I tried.
Easy come, easy go.
Yeah.
Elsa tells Inspector Crow that her husband spends all this time in the laboratory, which Crow doesn't like. Peter then comes in and says he was napping until a nice giant woke him up. Crow looks aghast.
Mm-hmm.
Wolf excuses himself in a hurry. Oh boy, does he.
Yeah, that's a pretty amusing scene.
As he's got to check on
realizes
something.
That, oh no.
Oh no.
It did work. The monster's awake.
Not surprisingly, the monster is gone.
Mm-hmm.
The monster sneaks up on him, and they spend a lot of time admiring each other in a mirror. Ygor comes in and calms his friend. Later, Ygor gets the monster to kill a man in the countryside. The monster strangles a man, then throws him under the wagon to cover up the crime.
Make it look like an accident.
He's not stupid.
Yeah.
He knows to cover it up.
Mm-hmm.
The butler, Benson, then disappears. Ygor claims Benson saw the monster and ran off into the woods. Wolf tells Elsa and Peter that they have to leave town tomorrow for their own safety. That night, Ygor gets the monster to kill the local druggist, who is one of the 8 men involved with hanging Ygor.
Only one left.
No, that was the last one.
Oh, that was the last one. The wagon guy was
the man
the
under
other
the
one.
wagon was.
He was
although
number
he wasn't
7.
recognizable.
Yeah, okay. He was number 7.
And that makes 8.
His vengeance is complete.
And he was one of the 8 men involved with hanging Ygor. Now there's a mob at the castle gates. And we don't know why, because they know Ygor didn't do it. They don't think the doctor did it.
They don't know the monster's back.
Yeah.
Nobody's seen the monster.
They just excite old people.
Yeah.
Inspector Crow talks to Peter about the giant, and Peter points out the secret door. Peter shows him a watch the giant gave him, and it's the butler Benson's
watch.
It says so right inscribed there.
Yeah.
Ygor admits that he was behind the 8 deaths in town. Mm-hmm. The inspector arrests Wolf for the murder of Benson. Ygor is not a suspect, as he was under surveillance during all the murders. Wolf goes to the lab with a gun. Ygor is ready for him. Wolf shoots Ygor several times. The inspector finds a secret door that leads to Benson's dead body. The monster discovers Ygor's body. Crow confronts Wolf, and they play darts.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
It's this weird tense scene, too.
He's like throwing him, and he's hitting all in the center, and then Crow starts in about where the monster this, that, and after a while he's like throwing him everywhere. The monster sneaks into Peter's bedroom and kidnaps the boy, which gets everyone's attention. Mm-hmm. The monster takes Peter to the sulfur pit. Dangles the little kid over the edge, and, Wolf swings in on a rope, Tarzan style, kicking the monster into the sulfur pit.
Which is, they said, hundreds of degrees Fahrenheit.
Cooked him good.
Mm-hmm.
Wolf and his family then donate the castle to the villagers and leave town. No more barons.
Happy ending. Until the next movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot more to come.
Yeah.
So what'd you think?
Overall, I enjoyed it.
Felt like you'd seen it before, even though you hadn't?
Kinda. Yeah.
You thinking of another movie that's real similar?
What one do you mean?
Young Frankenstein.
Oh, Young Frankenstein. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that was a spoof of it.
It
Yeah.
very much was, yeah.
Yeah,
It
very
stole
much.
almost all the plot from this film.
Mm-hmm.
Everything from Ygor to the inspector with the wooden arm to even the dartboard came
Mm-hmm.
from this.
Yeah.
There is a lot going on in this one. The monster isn't exactly as innocent as in his previous appearances.
Definitely not innocent. Not at
Yet,
all.
he's really still just Igor's pawn. Still, the monster does a few things to try to cover up the murders, so he's clearly not as mindless as he used to be, even though he's somehow forgotten to speak since the last film. He was talking in The Bride.
He was talking pretty good. Yeah.
And one odd superstition I heard mentioned. If the house is full of dread, put the headboards head to head.
Yeah.
Elsa goes in the bedroom and she
master
sees
bedroom.
they got double beds with the headboards
heads are-
out like this.
The heads are facing each other.
First of all, they're a married couple with kids, and they yet have double beds because this was in the 30s,
that was
and
how
that's
it was
just the
done
way
back
it worked.
then. Yeah.
But even so, the headboards, it was a weird-looking bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a
Yeah, but
real
that's sort of like
superstition or not, but
I'd never heard
sounded
that
good.
before. Yeah. European. Very European.
Very European.
Yeah. So all in all, a thumbs up, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely thumbs up.
Yeah.
If you like the other Frankenstein movies, this is right up there. You got to see it too.
Yes. Yes.
Have any of the
And I
Frankensteins
never
been
had.
bad yet?
No. Not
Oh, we've
yet.
only seen 3 now.
Not yet, but they've all been good.
They'll go downhill. They always do.
Mm,
Stretch a sequel one too far before long.
yeah.
Speaking of stretching one little thing a little too far,
What else did we see?
we saw The Open House
The
from
Open
2018. Directed by Matt Angel and Suzanne Coote. Writers, same 2 people. Stars Dylan Minnette, Piercy Dalton, and Patricia Bethune. And this is not available on Amazon yet. You got to watch it on
Netflix only. Yeah. Well, I liked the science fiction aspect that it's set in an alternate reality where people go up to high school well into their 20s.
You noticed that, huh?
This
He always notices
teenager.
that.
Yes, a teenage boy.
He was a
He was
teenage boy
good.
in the The Fault in Our Stars or something like that. That's what he's from.
I didn't see that.
I didn't either.
So I can't critique.
Okay, well, he's not
But anyway,
really a teenager.
He's not a teenager, and he didn't look like a teenager. But he was good.
He's in
good.
high school. He's training to be maybe in the Olympics.
Runner.
Trying hard to get
Yeah.
into school by running real fast.
Mm-hmm. Speed runner.
And anyway, Logan's father is run over and killed by a car in the street,
In front of him.
right before the credits. They can't afford their lifestyle on what Naomi, Logan's mother, makes, so her sister offers to let them stay in their mountain house. It's currently for sale, so they may have to clear out a few times on Sundays for the occasional open house.
Mm-hmm. But they
And
can
all
walk
of that
after
you've
it.
seen in the trailers, and there's no spoiler there.
Yeah, no spoilers.
Their new neighbor, Martha, recognizes them at the nearby convenience store. She seems to know a lot about their situation. She's very cheerful in a creepy way, and she manages to say in the conversation that her husband also recently died.
And you know how horror movies always have a harbinger? She was like Harbinger Light.
You know something's wrong when the creepy old lady comes to town.
Yeah. And as far as harbingers go, she was pretty friendly and nice. But
Very
but
nice,
she was-
very friendly,
but
very typical
you
little old
knew-
lady,
You could
but
tell
also
something
creepy.
was wrong.
Yeah. They arrive at the mountain house, and it's huge.
Mm-hmm.
The second they step inside, the phone rings, and it's Martha checking up on them already.
Mm-hmm.
Logan explores the house, especially the cellar. There are tunnels down there. That night, Logan hears knocking, and there's a car outside. He goes outside to investigate, and he runs into Martha, who's running around outside in her robe and doesn't seem to recognize
Doesn't
him.
recognize him, wonders why are you in this house? Why are you here? And then she runs off crazily.
Yeah. It's not her house. She's just a neighbor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The next morning, they're awakened by the rudest realtors on the face of the planet, who make them leave for the open house. saying, "You've got to get out! You've got to get out!"
And they did have some warning, but I guess they didn't get ready ahead of time, and she didn't wake up Logan ahead of time to get ready, and like the realtor's
They were there
assistant.
hours before the open house, I think.
Maybe.
When
Yeah.
they return, they get a good jump scare from the assistant realtor. Logan's phone then suddenly disappears, and he finds things he left in the bedroom, now in the living room. This is at night, long after the open house is over. Things are moving around.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, a guy they met at the store, drops by to look at the house, and we never see him leave. Martha stops by and brings them banana bread. Martha, in conversation, says her husband can't wait to meet Logan. You know, the dead husband.
And the mom even comments, "Didn't you say your husband died?" And Martha's like,
I never
"No,
said
why would I
that."
say something silly like that?"
She said that.
Yeah.
The water heater keeps going out, so Naomi keeps needing to go down to the basement to relight the pilot light. And it looks like it keeps being switched off.
Mm-hmm. And of course, it's just her and Logan, so she's suspecting Logan's doing this.
He's acting out.
Because he's acting out, because
Yeah.
he's unhappy, and he's a teenager. He's a teenager.
The water heater repairman comes. He finds Logan's phone in the basement. Naomi also finds a picture of her husband in the trash and blames Logan for throwing it out.
Yep.
She blames him for doing everything that's been going wrong, and of course he denies all of it.
Mm-hmm.
After the next open house, the pair return to find Christmas music playing and candles lit on the dinner table.
And things were rearranged all around the dining room, too.
They call the cops and tell them that weird things have been happening. The cops can't do anything, so they call Chris, who stops by and helps them look around. It doesn't take very long till they find Chris in his car with his throat cut outside, and someone knocks Logan out.
Spoilers.
Oh yeah, spoilers. Naomi wakes up and finds a bunch of photos in an envelope by her bed, of each of the two of them sleeping. Who could have taken them? Logan? No. Maybe it's that man who's laying in bed next to her.
Maybe.
He knocks her out before she says anything. She then wakes up tied to a chair, and the still unseen man breaks her fingers. One at a time.
Mm-hmm. They sound crunchier than that.
A little louder than that,
Yeah,
yeah.
not
Special effects will play up.
A lot louder.
Logan wakes up and unties Naomi. The man grabs Naomi and takes her to the basement tunnel. And there's one scene where the guy's down on top of Logan, and he reaches down and pulls out his contact lenses out.
Yeah.
And that's really...
And then
that's
lets him go so he can run outside and
without
get
being
chased
able to
down.
see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
without being able to see. Yeah.
So what'd you think? Now, while we were watching the movie, I checked out the IMDb reviews on this, and the first 15 reviews were 1 star.
I wouldn't be that harsh with it.
I wouldn't
wouldn't
either.
give it 1 star.
No.
The acting was really good. Acting, music, cinematography, everything was really top notch, I thought. Mm-hmm. The problem was that there just didn't. Yeah, okay, this is happening. We don't know why. Stuff's happening.
Okay.
You ever see the movie The Strangers? It's a couple being tormented randomly by 3 people who
I don't think I've seen
gradually who break into the house and eventually kill them. And
Okay.
This reminded me of that a
it.
lot.
Less graphic Purge.
It's like, okay, this random person is messing with them for no reason, and just cause, and he does, and then he leaves. And
Okay.
I mean, like The Strangers,
Yeah.
they mess with this couple and kill them and then leave. And
Well, the big spoiler
Okay.
here is at the ending, you never see who the guy is. It's not anybody we know. It's just this faceless man in the house. And of course, Naomi and Logan are both killed.
we've
end.
completely spoiled this one.
Yeah. If you really want to spoil things, watch the movie. Save your time.
Yeah, I wouldn't really recommend it to watch.
We repeatedly...
I didn't hate it. I wasn't bored, but I can't recommend it.
No, it was not good.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible. It wasn't 1 star worthy.
No,
I would
that's
give it
too
a
harsh.
3.
I'd give
Maybe
it-
a 4.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
We repeatedly get shots of the camera sneaking up behind the actors in the usual stalker point of view shot, but then there's no one actually there. It's a fake out.
Yeah.
Repeatedly, except for once. So they do this a lot of times to get you lazy.
Yeah.
There's a very big deal made about Logan losing his cell phone. Do the writers not know about Find My iPhone?
I guess
How
they
about the
didn't.
trick where the mother could call Logan's phone and track it down from the ringing phone?
Oh, that's just crazy talk.
Yeah, modern phones don't just disappear, even if somebody steals them in the basement. The pacing is pretty good, but we're 50 minutes in before we actually get confirmation that there really is someone in the house.
And something weird's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise it could just be imagination and stuff.
Yeah.
The ending is suitably tense and far more realistic than the ending of most horror movies. You know, the good guys all wind up dead.
Yeah.
It's a little different, and I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate
And that's
it.
the best I'm going to say.
That's high praise indeed. Yeah.
Well, maybe.
Yeah. So we saw the silent 1910 Frankenstein.
Recently, we've just seen The Son of Frankenstein. We've seen The Bride of Frankenstein with the original Frankenstein. And before that, the original Frankenstein from 1910. Thomas Edison.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first, I don't know, he had something to do with the invention of film, I guess, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was big into that. Yeah.
This is about his first film as you get in 1910.
And they recently cleaned it up and spliced it together and made a good copy that's in the National Archives.
We'll link in the show
And it's on
notes.
YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
They put it on YouTube. Oh, yeah. Easy to see.
It's about 10 minutes?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. It's not very long.
Yeah. And it's more loosely based on Mary Shelley, I thought, than Frankenstein movie was.
Roughly the same amount, probably.
Yeah, kind of
So
loosely.
it's not super great quality, but considering it's like
It's
one of
still
the
grainy
oldest
and-
movies that there is, it's pretty good.
From 1910, 109 years ago now.
This
Yeah,
was the
that's cool.
first filmed version of Frankenstein created by Thomas Edison in 1910. It starts off with young Frankenstein leaving for college, and 2 years later, he's found the secret of life. It took longer than that for me. There's an excellent scene of the monster's creation where they clearly made a dummy and set it on fire, and then played the film backwards, so you see the monster created out of what appears to be smoke.
He didn't use electricity to
No,
create it.
no,
He
just
had this
magic.
kind of cauldron where he dumped a bunch of chemicals and stuff in. And was it really magic or was it science?
Yeah, it was
I think it
science,
was
but
yeah.
very
Yeah.
unexplained science.
But it basically a big oven kind of thing where he baked a cake and it came out
He
Frankenstein.
baked a creature.
Yeah.
It was really
Yeah.
good for the time period.
Yeah.
Of course, the monster escapes and terrorizes Frankenstein for a bit, sees his fiancée, and falls in love.
Mm-hmm.
Frankenstein then drives the monster back, and somehow it becomes trapped inside a mirror, and then disappears.
Overcome by the goodness and love of
Mirrors.
Frankenstein and his wife.
It's only 13 minutes long and is, of course, a silent black and white film, but it does hit the high points of the Frankenstein story at least as accurately as The Whale in 1931. The Whale version.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 13 minutes. See it on YouTube. It's free.
Yeah, you should check it out.
Quality's not great, but it's good enough.
It's really interesting,
Yeah.
the special effects that they were able to do in 1910.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
One of the first films had special effects.
Yeah.
And the creature is kind of neat. You can see the creature very clearly, and he's not anything like Boris Karloff.
Doesn't look like Boris Karloff.
But it's a neat creature.
Yeah, it is.
Kind of clown-like, kind of hunchback-like.
Yeah, long claws.
Yeah. Kind of neat.
Yeah. What else did we see?
Altered.
Look at the shirt I'm wearing. It's got aliens on it.
Yeah, that's him.
Alien horror movie.
That guy's in Altered had bigger teeth.
He did? Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Great big teeth. Yeah.
Directed by Eduardo Sanchez. Written by Jamie Nash. Stars Adam Kaufman, Catherine Mangan, and Brad William Hankey.
This
1
was
hour, 27 minutes.
some of the people involved with making the Blair Witch Project, and Mike, the actor Mike, is in this.
You know, the one who died at the end of the real Blair Witch Project?
He didn't really die.
Oh, it was
That
real.
was
He
fake.
did die. They
That-
all died.
That was fake. That was a movie. Yeah, it was just a movie, not a real documentary.
That's what people on the internet say. It was all true.
But he's back.
Yep, undead.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not as dead. A van pulls up in the woods, and it's got 3 heavily armed hunters inside. I was going to make a Sam and Dean joke there, but there was 3 of them, so
There's
I'll let
3
it
of them.
go.
Yeah.
They're looking for something that we see dodging behind various trees. One hunter gets his foot caught in a bear trap, and the creature falls into a pit trap.
They've been setting this up for a while. Been at it for a while.
They end up capturing the thing, which we don't really get a good look at right now. They figure the alien ship is going to be following them, so they get off the road. We change over to see Wyatt, who's working in his garage. Wyatt hears something. This is a commercial garage. He's a mechanic.
Well,
not like his house garage.
It's like a compound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wyatt hears something outside and freaks out. It turns out it's Otis, Cody, and Duke, and they have the creature with them.
The what? You brought it here? What?
He knows about this thing, even though he wasn't with them.
Uh-huh.
Wyatt wonders if it's alive, since if you kill it, the rest are going to come and put us all down, he yells.
Mm-hmm. That's what he thinks.
It's been 15 years since the incident, and nothing they do will bring back Timmy, we're told.
Mm-hmm.
So, something happened 15 years ago, Timmy died.
Timmy. Had to say that.
Timmy. They argue, and the thing wakes up. It bites Cody. Wyatt grabs his own head. He's being psychically attacked somehow. Wyatt yells that it's sending a signal, and they cut it open and remove the little organ in its intestines that's sending the signal.
Yeah, it's a little clicky thing.
Clicky, like a bug.
That's powered by
Alien Morse code by intestinal juice, yeah.
And how did he know that this was, had one of those in there? Because he had one
pulls
himself.
up his shirt, and he's got this
He's
big
got a
slice
huge
where he
scar,
cut it out.
and he shows his that he saved in a jar. Yeah.
Yeah, you cut out a little clicky alien device out of your stomach, and you don't know exactly where it's at.
But anyway, they stomp on the one they took out of the alien, and then they stuff his guts back in and hot glue his stomach back closed. These aliens are tough.
Yeah, oh yeah.
This alien takes a lot of abuse in this movie.
Hope, Wyatt's girlfriend, comes in, and the alien hypnotizes her with his eyes.
Oh, but first she called the police.
Everyone's
Because she was all freaked out, like
they're all yelling and had
they're
guns.
all yelling and have guns, and she sees the alien, and she calls, and Wyatt takes the phone away from her and says, "Don't do that." Then she gets hypnotized. Yeah.
Everyone screams over everyone else for a while. They tired. That you don't like the 20-year-olds playing teenagers. I don't like it when there's 14 people screaming over each other.
It was good chaos. I liked it.
So they tie Hope to the bed and start securing the building
Because she's acting. She's
sort
trying
of possessed.
She's trying to free the alien. Like
Yeah.
the alien's kind of puppetized her a little bit. No.
Puppetized. That's a good word.
Yeah, she's been puppetized.
Duke explains to Wyatt that they've been trying to catch one of these things for about 7 years now. Every night. Cody injures himself, and while cleaning the wound in the bathroom, he finds that he's badly infected with some icky alien disease.
From the bite. Yeah.
Wyatt admits that whatever Cody has, it's what killed Timmy 15 years ago. The alien then gets loose just as the sheriff comes banging on the door. The
Bad
girlfriend
timing.
called him before things got crazy. Then it disembowels Otis, and things get messy.
Yeah, things
There's
are
a lot
messy.
of intestines.
Yeah, it's a very intestinal movie.
The sheriff also dies. I didn't even see what happened to him. He just got wounded and died.
he got his guts weren't spilling out, but he got
Was it a
clawed.
ricochet of his own bullets or something?
No, it was the claws. It was
Okay.
the alien claws. The alien's got great big claws.
He
great
dies
big teeth.
fast.
Yeah, he does pretty much.
They also have the alien in a Wyatt and Hope try to drive Otis to the hospital, but they know it's too late for him.
Did we tell? Yeah, Otis got his guts pulled out,
Yeah.
not Cody. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Cody's in
they
the
decide-
bathroom
So
suffering
they
from the
decide
disease.
they're going to leave. They're going to leave Cody and Duke. They load the alien in the back of the van, and they're going to take Otis to the hospital.
Yeah. But they know it's pretty much too late for him. They also have an alien in a box in the back of the van. Wyatt explains that if they kill even this one, the aliens will wipe out every single human on Earth.
Well, his concern is like what happens when an animal kills a human. The humans typically kill all the animals, in retribution or to stop the threat. And he's concerned that that's what these aliens are going to do to the human race if they start killing them.
And he could be right. We don't know yet. The aliens just kept experimenting on him 15 years ago.
Yeah,
they altered him.
They let the other three go after 2 days, and they kept him and Timmy.
They were doing tests on them, and he and Timmy passed the test. The other three didn't.
Yeah, he said, I guess
Or
we passed.
failed,
We
depending,
passed the first phase. Yeah, but then Timmy died
The disease.
but Wyatt was immune to everything that they threw at him.
They're kind of afraid of him
And so
because he was immune to all their tricks.
And Hope says she saw this in the alien's mind when the alien was hypnotizing her. The aliens are afraid of Wyatt because they don't understand how he can be. And
So after they altered him, he thinks they came back specifically for him. He stops the truck and says they're surrounded. Duke remains behind and talks to Cody through the bathroom door. We find out now that he switched the sheriff's body for the alien. Duke remained behind there at the garage to torture the alien.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got the dead body of the sheriff in the back of the truck and didn't know it.
And Wyatt finds this and realizes he's got to go back.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want Hope to go back, though. Go on your way and be safe. And
Wyatt leaves the van and heads off into the woods. The aliens surround him almost instantly, but they don't mess with him. They let him go.
Mm-hmm.
He continues back to the garage where he finds Duke's body. The creature then attacks Wyatt, but fails to remember that Cody and Hope aren't quite dead yet. Will Wyatt escape, or is it the end for both him and humanity?
And the human race.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not going to tell
It does
you.
have a good
We're
ending,
not gonna
an
tell
interesting
you.
ending.
Yeah. We're not going to spoil that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw this for the second time.
My first time.
I give it a strong 9, maybe even a 10.
Like a 7. Yeah.
I really like it.
It was
a lot.
good.
Yeah. Everything about it.
Okay,
Good
Wyatt.
effects.
Good. Yeah.
Good effects. Good story. Good acting. All good.
Wyatt explains the entire situation to Hope, and she still gets snooty and walks off into the darkness, where she's been told there are many of the creatures out there. This is not realistic unless she's way stupider than she appears. This is a stupid movie girlfriend trick.
Kinda.
Yeah, you talk back to me, I'm leaving, I don't care what the monsters are doing out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of intestinal gore in this, and Cody's disease is pretty well done, too, effects-wise.
Yeah, that was good.
Good makeup.
Yeah.
It takes a very long time before we get a look at the alien, but when we do, we see it's a very well-designed practical effect.
Yeah.
I don't know of any CGI here.
And then you see a lot of it. I don't think there's any CGI. Yeah.
There's plenty of room for a sequel, since the aliens could still return for Wyatt, and it looks like he actually may have a way to attack them back telepathically. There's a little back and forth mentally there.
So you gave a spoiler away that they don't destroy the human race at the end.
Not really. I didn't say that. I said that they didn't destroy Wyatt.
If there's a sequel, if they destroyed the human race, there wouldn't be a sequel.
Somebody's got to film it. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, what else?
A tale of two sisters, not cities, sisters.
Yes.
A Korean horror movie.
And I had not seen this before. Had you?
I had never seen it.
Okay.
No, I had heard of it. I'd heard vaguely good things about it.
And before we get into it, I read the spoilers on this one, and he didn't.
I didn't.
So we'll see how that compares at the end.
Beware of the IMDb when they say spoilers below. They mean it, I guess.
This movie,
I looked at them after. Yeah.
Normally we'll tell you
really
the spoilers and not warn you about the spoilers because it's our show, and that's kind of, you should watch these things before you watch them.
Don't spoil.
Don't spoil this one, and if you haven't seen it, go watch it and go into it ignorant of what's happening, and you'll like it a lot better. Because if we spoil it for you, you're going to be... It's like if you knew what happened at the end of The Sixth Sense, almost. It would ruin the twist.
Yeah, he was kind of bored because he had... And I was intrigued trying to figure what was going on.
He didn't know what was going on, and it was fun. I knew what was going on, and it was kind of boring.
Mm-hmm. Right away, I thought... I mean, there's two sisters, two little girls.
This is the line. Go away if you don't want to spoil.
Well, a little bit. No, I'm not gonna.
But now you can.
But right away, what I thought was that one of these girls is imaginary. Like
it's kind of filmed that way in the beginning.
There's only one, but yet they go in the house, and the stepmother greets them and is talking to both of them. And well, okay, so much for that theory right away. Mm-hmm. And yet it kind of still seemed like it, and so it was intriguing trying to figure out what was going on. Yeah.
Okay, so to get started officially, director is Ji-woon Kim, writer Ji-woon Kim, stars Kapsu Kim, Jung-ah-yum, Sung-jun Lim. It is Korean, it's subtitled, it's 1 hour and 55 minutes. Link in the show notes for Amazon.
Yeah.
We start out in a mental institution. The doctor shows the girl seated there a picture of a family. Do you know who these people are? Will you talk about what happened that day, he asks. She doesn't answer, but we flash back to that day.
Yeah, apparently.
Actually, a while before
apparently,
that.
the whole movie is a flashback.
Yeah, most of it.
I think so. Yeah.
Father Park. I don't know all these characters' names, so it's father and stepmother.
Yeah, father, stepmother, older sister, younger sister.
Yeah. Father parks the car at the house, and the two girls get out. Soo Yan eats some kind of nasty-looking fruit, and Soo Mi reads her palms but doesn't like what she sees. Sumi looks like maybe she's a year or two older than Soo-yan. They finally go inside the house, and their stepmother greets them. "You're both feeling better, right?" she asks. So we know they're coming back from somewhere where they didn't feel good.
Yeah, something going on there.
There's an awkward dinner with the two girls, the father, and the stepmother. Soo-yan hears noises outside in the night, which keeps her awake, so she crawls into bed with Soo-mi. The next morning, Soo-mi sees a figure in black crawling on the floor of her room. It looks like a woman with a broken neck, only really diseased or something.
And this might have been a dream. You can't tell.
Yeah.
Because she wakes up suddenly the next morning and looking around and
Yeah.
But then later, it does seem like there's some ghosts in there too, further complicating what's going on.
There's a lot going on.
Who are
here.
these ghosts?
The next morning, it just happens that we hear that all three women in the house are having their period at the same time. It sounds
Which
like
can
a
happen.
random
I've heard of that.
coincidence, but there's a point to it
And
later.
I've heard of that happening, and it's a coincidence, and
I suppose it
seem
could
like-
happen once to
it
anybody.
doesn't seem like
but-
a major.
Yeah.
It doesn't, it's a little odd, but it's a thing. Yeah.
Soo-yan goes through some old pictures, including the one we saw at the institution. It's a photo of her mother and father and both girls. There's also a photo of the four of them with the stepmother standing nearby. Looks like the father and the stepmother worked together for a while.
Yeah, the father was a doctor. Is a doctor. That's why he had all the medical stuff at home.
Ah.
Yeah, and she was the stepmother was a nurse apparently that she worked with.
There is some family drama as the stepmother and Soo-mi argue. Father and stepmother have another couple over for dinner, the girls' uncles, and it's even more awkward.
Yeah, the most awkward dinner ever.
The stepmother tells old stories that the guests claim they don't remember.
And they're, she's just
She's
yucking
really having
it
a good
up
old
and
time
having
with
a
these
great
stories.
time, and they're not amused at all, and they just look, and the father just looks really uncomfortable, and what's going on here?
The woman
still
guest-
wondering what's going on.
Yeah. The woman guest then has some kind of fit and goes into convulsions. Pretty sure it's not epilepsy, but it's something like that.
But some kind of, and there's medication.
Yeah.
Her husband has medication.
She
So
screams
it's-
and pukes all over the floor, and her husband gives her some pills. After they leave, the stepmother sees a ghostly girl in the dining room. After that, she's convinced that there's something in the house.
And the sister, or the guest, when she was having her fit, she saw a ghost under the sink.
The guest saw the broke-neck black woman crawling around on the floor. Then later, the stepmother sees a young girl
Right.
who's not the same ghost.
Yeah,
It's a different
right.
one.
So there's two ghosts. Yeah,
Yeah. The little girl looks clean and more normal.
and two ghosts and a sister who may or may not be real, but is real because
Everybody talks to her. She's real at this point.
yeah.
Father comes in and demands to know why Soo-mi has been acting so strangely. Soo-mi explains that stepmother has been harassing Soo-yan. Father says to stop saying those things because we all know Soo-yan is dead. On the other hand, Soo-yan is standing right there next to Soo-mi.
Yeah.
Someone is confused.
Something's very wrong here.
Soo-yan starts screaming. Change of scene. Next morning, we see stepmother dragging a corpse-sized bloody sack out of the house. She stops and beats on it angrily. Soo-mi can't find Soo-yan now, but there's a long trail of blood on the floor. Soo-mi and the stepmother fight. Soo-mi gets knocked out.
That's quite the fight too. Yeah, they really
The fish hooks
they
and the
really
glass
knock
and the
down,
banging
drag
their
out.
heads, it's
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
Father finds Soo-mi unconscious and bloody on the floor,
Yeah,
but
all
no
the-
one else
and
is
the,
around.
The mess all over all the smashed up stuff. Yeah.
We see Father bandaging wounds on stepmother, and Soo-mi is nowhere to be found. Just then, the door opens and the real stepmother comes in, for the first time in this movie, and sees Soo-mi sitting there alone.
You just completely spoiled it.
If you aren't figuring it out a little, the movie is very confusing at this point. Soo-mi is real. Soo-yan has been dead for years, and the real stepmother just arrived. She hadn't been real either until just now. There's two imaginary characters.
And that explains it.
That's how they were interacting.
Yeah. And if you've seen Fight Club with how he imagined Tyler Durden, sometimes he saw Tyler as another person and sometimes he was being Tyler himself. And the same way.
So when the father
that
was
we
talking
saw,
to the stepmother, he was really talking to Sumi. It was just we see the stepmother.
like that awkward dinner where the guests come.
It was Sumi
We
sitting
saw
there
it
telling
as
them
the
stories
stepmother.
about these adults' childhood, and she
Yeah.
wasn't there.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
They were seeing this kid telling them old stories, and no, they don't remember it like that.
Yeah. So anyway, I think what I was suspecting was that by that point the stepmother and sister, because when they gave the sister was dead, I thought and if the stepmother was also dead, and
It would be like two ghosts or
Yeah.
two but she's
two
not dead.
imaginary people. Yeah, but she wasn't dead.
Yeah.
No, she was just gone.
As Sumi sits in the institution, she remembers what caused all this. Meanwhile, the real stepmother is at home and hears strange noises. She goes into a room that is freezing cold. The door slams and the lights go out. The black, broken-neck ghost appears and kills her.
Mm-hmm.
End of stepmother.
Yeah.
For real this time.
Yeah.
Finally, we get a flashback explaining everything that really happened. Father and stepmother were having an affair, and real mother found out about it.
Mm-hmm.
Real mother then hung herself in the wardrobe. Su Yan found the body and then panicked and knocked the wardrobe over onto herself, which crushed her to death.
Mm-hmm.
The mother and Su Yan have appeared as the scary-looking ghosts, while the non-scary Su Yan and most of the appearances by the stepmother were all inside Sumi's head. You got two ghosts that are real, two imaginary characters that are not.
Yeah. So that's
Complicated.
That's why it was hard to figure out what was going on.
It's all right. I immediately figured that one of the girls wasn't real, but the imaginary stepmother kept talking to both of them, which made it confusing.
Yeah.
And then the father would talk to all of them, which was confusing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Having two imaginary characters made it much harder to figure out, and then there was ghosts as well. It's not clear why the party guest had the seizure. I guess she was just a ghost-sensitive kind of person.
No, I think it's just unrelated coincidence.
Well, they said it was her uncle, so I assumed that the woman was her aunt, which could have been the mother's sister. The mother was crazy. She committed suicide, and she had pills there.
Mm-hmm.
Those pills, I think, were hers, the mother's. The aunt was taking pills also, so it could be some sort of mental illness ran in their family.
Maybe.
And now Sumi's got it too.
Maybe.
Which makes it a little more sense to me.
Oh.
The mother had it. The
Sumi's
aunt has
really
it.
crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And what was up with the tent in the road? As the aunt and uncle are driving to the house, they pass these camping tents out on the road.
I looked that up online.
Not on the curb,
and
not on the side, in the road.
I looked it up, and it said that they mean nothing and don't read anything into it, that's a thing in Korea, they have an agricultural purpose. But it has no bearing on the movie, it's just a thing.
I wouldn't want to sleep on a tent in the road.
Not in the road, no. But it sure looked like it was in the road. They kind of had to swerve to avoid hitting it.
Yeah, it was like in the right lane.
Yeah. Were they driving in the right lane?
I don't know how they do it in Korea.
Okay. Yeah.
And that is our show this week.
Yes, it is.
Thanks for joining us. Stop in during the week at horrorguys.com for news and horror updates, to comment on this podcast, or to contact us. Now, next week,
what do we have?
We've got the Universal Studio monster flick Tower of London from 1939.
I haven't seen that.
The contemporary classic Were from 2013. That's W-E-R.
I haven't seen that. Weird.
Yeah, the very new movie Cam from 2018.
I haven't seen that.
And our international feature Possession from 1981.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen any of these either. This could be an interesting
All
week for
new
both
movies.
of us.
Yeah.
Give those a watch this week and see if your opinion matches ours next week. Check out our Twitter feed at Horror Bulletin and find our group Horror Guys Podcast on Facebook. And of course the website at horrorguys.com.
We share all kinds of interesting things on Twitter and Facebook when we find them.
Twitter is cool. We got a lot of good stuff on Twitter. And I'm Brian.
I'm Kevin.
And we'll see you next week.
See ya.